Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Daydream Legend. I took that sip way too close to the end of the music, so I wasn't ready. Nice gulp of hot coffee. See, my mind isn't working yet. Didn't get the coffee in. It's a Tuesday morning in lovely New Jersey, and I'm happy to be back doing this for the second time. I will be looking into the camera from now on. I got a message saying they enjoyed the podcast. However, looking away from the camera was weird for them. And I get it. I was just trying something different and it didn't work. So we're going to go right into the camera. I may look over to the side to read something, but I'll mostly be playing right to you. So welcome back, those who've listened last week. I know some people watched on YouTube, and I appreciate that. However, my numbers need to go up on the audio part. So if you can go subscribe on iTunes, Spotify's good, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. I'm actually doing this through Anchor.fm, which is a Spotify product. So what's cool about that is you could leave a message for me from that app. If you download the Anchor app, you could leave voice messages, because I put out on my social media today, a few days ago, for today, a number for you to leave voice messages, and I did get 4 of them, so I appreciate that. We're going to start the show with that. So please go to any audio podcasting platform, search out Daydream Legend, and subscribe to it. Rate and review that whole horse crap that you have to do to get people to see it. But yeah, so that's that. I appreciate you guys coming back. Let's get to these voicemails. Okay, where's the first one? All right, so yeah, I asked people to leave a message, ask me any question, give me a weird story. The number, if you ever want to do that, I should have up and ready, but I don't, because my professionalism is not with it today. But we can always edit this out. So let's see. What is my number? 973-908-8477. You can leave me a voicemail asking me any question you want. Tell me a weird story, anything. If you want to talk about something that I previously talked about on the podcast, say that. Say any thoughts you have, leave me, and then we could spark some conversation. So let's get into the messages. So here was the first one.
Messages. Fuck, marry, kill. A rooster, a turtle, and Mila Kunis.
What a first message. So this gentleman, who I don't know who it is, said, fuck, marry, kill. I believe he said a rooster, a turtle, and Mila Kunis. First off, you're very weird, sir. But we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. Fuck, marry, kill, rooster, turtle, Mila Kunis. Now, I think I guess someone right after the bat would be like, I'm marrying Mila Kunis. But then that means you do have to fuck a rooster or a turtle. I mean, I think, okay. I thought about this a little bit. So if I fuck Mila Kunis, I can marry the turtle. See, I would probably marry the rooster if I fuck Mila Kunis, kill the turtle, marry the rooster, because the rooster can just like give me eggs. It'd be kind of like a good spouse. Just, gives food all the time. But I guess the question is, if you marry the rooster, do you also have to fuck the rooster? Can we be in a relationship where, like, a sexless marriage? That'd probably be the type of marriage I would want with a rooster. But fuck, marry, kill. So I think you'd have to marry Mila Kunis, right? I mean, obviously, because then you would want to, kill the rooster. Oh wait, why would I say give eggs? Roosters don't give eggs. What an awful thought process. So no, I'm gonna have to kill the rooster. Okay, I'm gonna kill the rooster. Eat it. Okay. Kill the rooster. That means I gotta fuck a turtle though. All right, I'm gonna kill the turtle. marry Mila Kunis and fuck the rooster. This is so hard, man. Because I thought I had it because I was like, if I kill the turtle, then I can use him as a bowl. But that was when I thought, I wasn't thinking rooster. I thought I would have eggs to like eat inside the bowl. All right, so if I'm going to go right off the bat, just because, bestiality is not my thing, I'm going to have to marry Mila Kunis because then I can get a twofer with that one. I get married and I get, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to kill the turtle because, I'm killing the rooster because I think if I fuck the turtle, you can almost like I don't think it'll make noise like the rooster would, which would be very upsetting. So I think a turtle would kind of just like it would get scared. Its head would go into its shell. Then you treat it like a sex toy possibly. And then you just move on. And then he's like, why? All right. So that's it. That's my final thing. It's marry Mila Kunis, fuck the turtle, kill the rooster.
New message.
Hi, it's Robin. So I have this question. What inspired you to become a comedian? And how old were you when you decided to make that choice? Like, what made you think, like, hey, I could get up there and make people laugh, which you do very well. And what comedians did you look up to? What comedians inspired you? And obviously you have the gift of being a comedian. It's such a ballsy thing to do. And I want to know what other jobs you had before becoming just a working comedian, and that's your job now. What other scrubby jobs have you had? Oh, my fucking phone's going on. Okay, that's just another...
Okay, thanks for that message, Robin. So basically she asked how did I become a comedian, what age. I was in my late 20s when I became a comic. If people listen to my old podcast, they know I'm clean and sober since 1995. And I used to be involved in conventions for the 12-step program in putting on events and stuff. And we used to get comedians. And I used to speak a lot at rehabs and meetings and stuff like that. And I used to, I guess, make people laugh. And one year at one of the conventions, a friend of mine who was involved said, why don't you try doing the comedy show? Why don't you, maybe host it? And now at that time I was working I've been in bands, working in entertainment. I've been around comedians. I knew it wasn't something you could just go do. So I remember it was funny because we had a headliner booked for the show. His name was Mike DiStefano, very amazing comic who had, it's probably been about 10 plus years since he passed. But he was a comic that was I called him up. He was booked for this convention, and I was like, hey, what's up, man? He knew me a little bit. I'm like, people said I should maybe try comedy, so I was wondering if you would mind if I could host the show tonight. Or not tonight, this coming convention. And he said, which was, I still think about it, it was so funny. He goes, oh, of course, I love to see people in pain. Which really, that made me laugh. So I remember I was really working hard to not make a fool out of myself. So I knew I had to go up there with prepared bits. And so my first show was in front of 300 people at a convention, and I did probably about 3 to 4 minutes. And I actually have an audio recording of it, but it's on tape, actual old tape. That's how long ago this was. And I should listen to it. I mean, it didn't go terrible for your first time because I think I had home field advantage, but it was okay. But it definitely got me into it I was like, wow, that was fun. Writing something, telling a joke, getting a laugh was a good time. So then I went to the open mic at the Stress Factory that following Wednesday. That was my first, I would say, real show, because the other show I had friends there, so it was kind of like home field advantage. So the first real show, I did 3 minutes. I actually do have videotape of that. I should put that online, maybe. I don't know. Could be kind of painful. But I did pretty good there. And that gave me enough confidence to come back the following week and continue bombing for months. Because it is a very, it's an addicting art form. Anyone that does comedy is very addicted to it, because there's something, there's like a high you get from telling a joke and getting that laughter back. It just feels really good. I tell people it was very much like drug addiction, because when you do it well and you have a good night, you're like, I am doing this every day for the rest of my life. Then when you have a bad show, you're like, I'm never doing this again. I don't know why I do this to myself. And then you're sitting home lonely one night and you're just like, okay, just one more. And the addiction just keeps spiraling and spiraling, and that's how it keeps going. So that's how I got into comedy. And then I didn't know I could make a career out of it. I mean, I kind of don't have like a full career out of it. I make good money doing comedy. It's a very up and down sort of venture until you really get a name. So I supplement my income with, I still work in television, producing and directing and editing and all types of video work. I just do a lot. That's where most of my tongue is working. Most of my money comes from. So like, cause comedy at my level, you can have a really great year or you can have like a totally dead year. Now, could I live off comedy if I really tried? Yes. If I didn't want this house I live in, if I wanted to be like a single guy in like a studio apartment, I can probably eke out a living as a comedian if I went on the road. But that's not the way I want to live. So I enjoy my little house, and I'm just going to keep doing it the way I'm doing it. And if it ever replaces doing all that work, I'll love it. But I'm having a great time anyway. So that's that. I think you also asked about who the people I looked up to coming up. I mean, everyone's got the same, we all know the greats, George Carlin, Brian Regan, every, like all those main comics. But there was a comic that I saw in my 20s for the first time who made me laugh so hard. I mean, other guys make me laugh hard, but this comedian Robert Schimmel, if you've never heard of him, Google Robert Schimmel. I believe his first I think he only had one HBO special called Unprotected. I remember waking up in the middle of the night one night because I fell asleep watching a movie on HBO, and I woke up and his special was on. And this guy was so funny, but filthy, but like in a smart way, not just disgusting. Like the guy just really made me laugh. And I just looked at that and I was like, because he was just smooth, and I'm like, that's the type of comedy. Like I just really like looked up to him. I'm like, he's very open with his comedy about his life. He's dirty because it makes the joke better. And he was just smooth, and I was like, and it's he's bald, and then I became bald a few years after that. So I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a dollar store Robert Schimmel, touring Tricky Trays and Fire Hall fundraisers till the day I die. But you know what? We always dream for more.
New message.
Hi, Joe. It's Robin. I wanted to talk about your Girl Scout cookie bit that you do. It is really one of my all-time favorites. I just wanted to know, how you came up with that and maybe your writing process, because it was brilliant and hysterical. And I was just wondering, how you come up with what is your writing process, and how do you come up with these with your brilliant? You get it, Joe. You're so pleased. I should have wrote a script before I called. All right, Bob. That was just one silly question. I will try a minute.
Okay. Well, she called me brilliant, so you gotta love Robin. Thank you for the messages. So Girl Scout cookie joke. Yeah, that was like a fun joke of mine that I don't do as much anymore. But if you want to go on if you haven't seen it, go on my YouTube channel. I have the full video there I think it's on all my social media. How I came up with that, I don't know. You know, it's so weird. Sometimes you don't know why, like how you like the way jokes come. I'm not like the type that just sits down with a blank paper with a blank mind and I'm like, let's make a joke about Girl Scout cookies. It's just basically, I do know where parts of it came from. Cause I remember like, you know, just my neighbors across the street had little girls and they would come over, ask if I want cookies. I would pick out the cookies. I would pay them cash. And then like, it just seemed like forever that they weren't coming back. And I was like, this is very much like a drug deal where it's like, you hope they come back. You know what I mean? You're like looking, you're like every day, you're like, did they come with my cookies? No. And I'm like, I don't think they're coming back. I think they took if they took my money, what am I going to do? I'm going to go across the street and like knock on the door and be like, your little girls stole $200 from me and I need my cookies. Like, I mean, you just got to accept the loss. So anyway, they always did come back, obviously, but I just thought that whole connection with drug dealers was a funny thought, put it out there and it worked. And I do remember thinking about when I talked about cookies named after me, because there was that news story about the Samoan. They changed the name of Samoas for a while to Caramel Delights because it was like insulting to the Samoan people, which to me is ridiculous. I mean, can there be a better compliment than someone naming a cookie after you? And then I was like, what could someone name a cookie after me that would seem insulting, but wouldn't insult me? So that's when I came up with the line, would you like some short, fat, bald Joeys? Because that's usually what people, like, if they're going to try and insult me, that's usually what they either go with. Short, fat, and bald. Those are like my three characteristics. That don't bother me that much, honestly. I mean, so I was like, if you were gonna try and insult me with a cookie name, that's probably what you'd call me. So that's how I came up with that Girl Scout bit. And like I said, writing process, I don't know where ideas come from. I just they come. I have like a bunch of notes. I'm always writing down notes. Sometimes they don't even make sense when I do get back to them. But I wish I knew where it came from, and I wish I was able to access it, because I'd probably be a little bit more prolific. So maybe that's something that'll come to me one of these days. But currently, that's how I do it. And it's probably just a form of laziness, honestly. I probably could sit down and do stuff like that. I mean, like, I do sit down and I write, but it's not like I sit down and like, what can I, like, let me make something about cookies or whatever, you know. So that's my writing process. I know you were interested in that. Hopefully other people were, because writing is the most boring thing. It's fun when you get a great idea, but not writing is most of writing. Just sitting there like, what the hell? I have nothing. I'm just an empty vessel of nothing. Okay, so that was 3 messages. I thought I had a 4th one here. Let me see what's going on. Hold on one second. Okay. All right, let me see. I think this is the last one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, this is a message that I did listen to. It's a friend of mine who he didn't really do, you know, I'm asking for ideas for things, but he just did his impersonation of Jim Florentine. He's got I don't know if you guys know comedian Jim Florentine, but he has a very distinctive voice, and I know exactly who called. This is my buddy KP Burke, and this is his impression of Jim Florentine calling into my show, which I'll just play it for you. I don't even know what to do with this, but it's my buddy KP Burke trying to be funny.
Joe, what's up? It's Florentine. Listen, I just want to tell you, like, you're a good dude, you know? Like, I feel like you don't hear it enough. You know, it's weird. You do that thing, you know, like, I think you're gay for your dog, but, you know, like, a lot of people are gay for things like I'm Like, not me, because I'm a straight dude, but you know what I mean? Like, I think you want to bang your dog, but actually it'd be weirder if your dog was banging you. That's weird. Anyway, I gotta go. I ate ketchup.
And there you have it. That's KP Burke's impression of very funny comedian Jim Florentine. It's a decent impression. I don't think Jim would ever call into my show, but he may call me gay for my dog. I would probably put money on that, and he does hate ketchup apparently. So I don't know what to do with that message, but I wanted to play it for you since he did leave it. So please dial 973-908-8477 and leave a message for next week. I like getting messages. It'll help me talk about things. I'm telling you anything. If you have a weird news story for me, send it. Also, download the Anchor FM app. You can leave a message there. That would be cool as well. So, all right.
And now, the news.
Interesting news story I found this week came through my feed. Hooters waitress caught dipping hot wings in her vagina. Now, that just made me blurp a little bit because I love hot wings. And it says Jessica Sinclair, 24, in Houston, Texas, was taken into police custody after she was witnessed by coworkers dipping hot wings into her vagina before serving them to customers. From what authorities have said, Jessica would dip wings into her vagina while on and off her period. Hopefully off. This was done to customers who had been rude and or made off remarks about her appearance. Okay. First off, if you Google it and you see this picture, I'll pop it up here. What could a customer be saying about her appearance? She's I mean, this is a mugshot. Usually you look worse in your mugshot. So I'm thinking, just think about the type of people that go to Hooters. They think they have a problem with her appearance. I don't blame her for shoving it into the vagina for people that do that, because like okay. This has to be a fake news story. She's way too good looking to be doing that sort of thing. I know some good looking people could be crazy too, but I just have a hard time believing this girl is putting hot wings into her vagina. Then they go on to say why she would do this while on her period is anyone's guess. Yeah, because see, that's ultra. Like if you're just gonna go vagina, that's what's funny about this news story, if real. They're okay with her doing it in her vagina, just a very run-of-the-mill everyday vagina, but they're like, what? Why she would do this on her period is anyone's guess. Anyone's guess. Ugh. Crazy? That's probably the guess. The introduction of blood to this crime heightens the consequences of her actions. She can get to 20 years in prison. The lesser charge of inserting the wings into her vagina while not menstruating can carry a prison term of 10 years. So 10 years if it's just a straight into the vagina, but if you're menstruating when doing it, an extra 10 years. I want to know the person who wrote these laws. Like, there has to be precedent for this. I think this needs to be investigated more, because how do you get 10 more years just for menstruating? This has to be a fake news story. I should have really looked into this more. Family members claim that while she has the appearance of a well put together young woman, which she does, like I said before, she actually suffers from multiple personality disorder. You think? You think she suffers from that or something? And she has a long history of incidents that end in either a stay in jail or in a mental hospital on a 3-day hold. Very nice. Had Hooters conducted a background check, this whole incident could be avoided. Well, let me defend Hooters here for a second. They can't do a background check on people that are applying there because they would have no workers. I think the average Hooters waitress, though they may not want to shove wings in their vagina, may have a record. Possibly. I don't know. And the thing is, though, I've been seeing this news story come through my feed, which first off, you can tell my algorithm is whacked if this is what it's feeding me. But Hooters has not like put out a statement like this is a false thing, because I'm thinking maybe Hooters is thinking, no publicity is bad publicity. Like, because they're probably thinking, thinking about our clientele, this may sell more wings. The possibility, like I think they think like we have creepos that come here to ogle girls over chicken wings. I mean, I've been to a few Hooters. I'm just not into it, man. The wings are mediocre at best. And it's just, who wants, I don't know, man. It's like strip club, but like, I remember there was a place called a Tilted Kilt. I never knew what it was about. It's like a Hooters where the girls just show their breasts, very voluptuous, and they wear kilts. And me and my mother didn't know what it was, and we stopped in there, and I had to eat at the Tilted Kilt with my mom while big-breasted women served us burgers and fries. It was quite uncomfortable, to say the least. But anyway, if this is true, I just want to know how, like, who was the first what was the first wing they bit into? They're like, hey, wait a minute. This reminds me of something. I can't even continue talking about this. I'm going to vomit on this show.
And that's a look at today's news.
Oh yeah, this past weekend I went out to Long Island on Friday to record a friend of mine, Mike Keegan's comedy album, and I knew like mostly nobody there because a lot of comics I met for the first time out there, and there was a lot of his family members there, and I think one of his cousins was in the green room with us, telling us that he has a friend that worked at a funeral home who's bisexual and has had sex with men and women in the funeral home in the same room as dead bodies. And I was like, wow. Like that. I mean, I've had sex at work before back in the past. I worked at a video store and I had a girlfriend, and we had sex at the video store during off hours, not while people were searching for videos. So sex at work is very common. Sex at work at a funeral home with the dead bodies there? But actually the funniest part was he asked the guy, he goes, have you ever had sex with a dead person? And the guy's answer apparently to him was, no, that would be unprofessional. That would be, that's the reason, because it would be unprofessional. Like if it was professional, I would totally have sex with dead bodies, but I'm not an unprofessional guy. I only have sex with my boyfriends and girlfriends next to dead people. Professional. I'm not unprofessional. Unprofessional. Sorry, I'm getting a drink. So yeah, that was a weird story that happened. The unprofessional, almost necrophiliac. Like, I'm just trying to think, like when you think of professionalism, it's like that's like a work thing. Like this is like if there was a review of this funeral home, like a Yelp review, like they're very professional. They're very professional. They they did everything right. Had the flowers, not like the other place we took. It was unprofessional. Like, could you imagine a Yelp review saying we thought they were professional until he had sex with Uncle Tommy? Very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. We can't believe that's what they do there in a professional sense. It's ridiculous. I talked to you guys last week about my mindfulness app, the waking up app, doing meditation. And there's this, it's so funny how like, I don't think they intended to do this, but this meditation app gave me anxiety. Now it started off really well. Every once in a while they give a take, like a story or something to tell you about mindfulness to kind of help you think about things. And they talked about being in the moment, which is always a good thing. Be in the moment. Try and be in the moment. That's typically the source of my anxiety. I'm either living in the past or I'm living in the future. I'm not living in the moment, hence I have anxiety. But the way they put this just made me so depressed, because they said, you never know when, you have to stay mindful and in the moment, because you never know if where you're at will be the last time you're there. Like, Like I've had friends in the past that I've hung out with for years, and then like we hung out one night and I didn't know that was the last time I was going to hang out with them. And they said you should be mindful because any moment that could be the last time doing that. And that just made me so upset because I'm sitting there listening to it. My dog was next to me. So I started being like really mindful in the moment. So I started like gushing with love over him. I'm like, oh my God, I hope this isn't our last moment. So I'm like, is this going to make me weird now? Like if this stays in my head, every time I'm with somebody or doing something, I'm going to be now afraid that this could be the last time I see them. So I'm going to be overly emotional. I'm going to become that weird like hugger. You always have that friend that like hugs long. I mean, maybe you don't. I mean, I was in like 12-step recovery and I had friends that would like hug way too long when you're you're leaving them. So anyway, it's kind of an interesting concept because like I just never thought about it that way, that like there's always a last time for something, which sounds very like spiritual and amazing, but it's also now a big source of my anxiety. So I think I'm gonna have to forget about that because I don't think I'll be able to live in the moment if I'm thinking the moment is going to be the last time I'm going to see them. How can I enjoy that moment? I should enjoy every moment for what it is, not like, holy shit, this may be the last time, because I don't think I'm going to be natural in that moment if I'm thinking of the moment as that. I hope everything I just said made sense because it was flowing out of my face and I don't know. But anyway, before I wrap this up, I just want to tell you guys, I had a really good time this weekend. For people that are just new to this podcast, last year I filmed my first web series called I Don't Know Joe. Put it out on YouTube. This company Spark TV put it out on their platform, and it's been going around the film festivals doing very well. So this past weekend I was at the Trenton Film Festival, and I got to go up on stage. What was cool is because I made a comedy. So like at a comedy, like I put out the videos on YouTube, so people tell me they like it, but I don't hear people laughing. So you want the feedback. People say they loved it and they laughed, but you don't get to hear it. So at the festival, I'm in a almost sold out theater watching a comedy that I made. Now, when you make a drama, people just watch it and they clap at the end. And they tell you I liked it. But when you do a comedy, if you don't hear laughs, you're like, I'm going to leave like before anyone sees me. And it got so many laughs during a live theater show. It was like the greatest feeling to watch this thing get laughs, to like listen to people enjoy it. It's something I didn't get to do. And it really kind of validated everything to me. Even though like people told me they liked it and I knew it was good. Like strangers told me they liked it. People important to me told me they liked it. But like watching a room full of strangers really enjoy it, there's really was nothing better than that. And I wound up taking honorable mention in the short narrative category. I lost to some German film, which is fine. And then so I posted about it. And now tell me, I don't know, maybe you can message me and tell me if you think this was wrong of me. I like to try, listen, comedy is my, it's my brand. I try to make, even if I post something serious, kind of funny. So I posted a bunch of pictures from the film festival and I put, it was great to hear people laughing at this thing. I got to do a Q&A and work with and meet some very talented filmmakers. And I said I took second place, honorable mention, and I said I'll take it. Being number one of losers is my wheelhouse, which I thought was a funny line. Like I'm never number one, but I'm typically number two. I'm like number one of the losers. That's really been my trajectory. I mean, I've won some, but I thought that was a funny line. And then someone told me after I posted it, oh, you think the film festival will get insulted by that? And I'm like, why? Like, I'm making fun of me. Like, see, this is where we're at. It's kind of annoying. Like, not annoying that the person said it, but it's like, that's how to work. Like, everyone's worried what people think, which, I mean, we're all worried what people think, but how can self-depreciating myself insult the film festival? I mean, I don't know. Am I wrong? Was it that bad? I mean, I left it because I'm like, if they got insulted by me making fun of myself because I got second place, I don't even know what to do with that. That's how silly that is. But I was grateful. It's good to be honored in any way. If number one loser, maybe that'll be the name of my next album. Who knows? But I was happy about it. I just wanted to share that because I thought that was silly that somebody told me that. They're like, oh, you think they're going to get insulted? That may be weird for next time you send them something. They may not want to put you in. And I'm like, I hope the world isn't working like that. I hope this festival isn't working like that. But I don't believe they are. I met the guys running the Trenton Film Festival, and they were great people. Had a lot of nice things to say about my web series. So anyway, guys, like I said, I don't want this podcast to be a really long podcast. I'm trying to keep it to like 30 minutes. I had some other topics I wanted to get to, but thankfully with the messages, I couldn't get to them all, which I love, that because that means you guys gave me a lot of material to work with. And I want this podcast to be, even though it's a solo podcast, I want to interact with you. I don't want to just be yapping with myself. Let's do this. So please, let me get that number again for you. Yeah, so go to 973-908-8477. Leave a message about anything you want to talk about. Ask me any questions. I kind of like that. You can also send me a message at joefernandes.net. There's a little contact form there. Or just email me at joe@joefernandes.net and ask me anything you want. So I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys sharing it. Please share it with friends. Please subscribe to the audio feeds at any podcasting app. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And see you guys next week.